Hey folks, welcome back to the Dungeon Dive. Daniel here. I hope you're doing well, and if you're not, I hope you are soon. And hey, in today's episode, I am thrilled to bring you some preview coverage of the new expansion for Stalagbite, the Dwarven quest for gold and glory. And that new expansion is called the Deeper Caverns. So earlier in 2024, I took a look at Stalagbite, and it's a game that I instantly fell in love with. But now with the addition of this new expansion, I really think that Stalagbite is flirting with top 10 material here. I love this game, and this is one of the coolest expansions. This is one of those perfect expansions. It's a small box expansion, but it adds a ton of variety to the stuff in the base game, and it adds some new mechanisms and some new things that really push this game over the edge for me. So I'm not going to go into a lot of detail on how to play the game. In my original video review and overview, I go into great detail on how to play Stalagbite. So I'll link that here so you can watch that. But this video is just going to give you an overview of what you will get in the new expansion. Now, because of scheduling conflicts and I didn't receive this expansion in time for coverage, this video is going to go up after the crowdfund campaign, so you should still be able to jump in on a late pledge. And one of the best things about this is this game is completely done. The expansion is completely done and it's ready to ship. And they're saying that the game should ship by the end of 2025, so you're not going to have to wait a long time to get it. Let's take a little look at the back of the box here. The Deeper Caverns is an expansion for the Stalagbite board game. You take on the role of a dwarf descending to deeper levels in the caverns, where a new creature, the Aetherfish, awaits you. You will clash spears with goblin guards, discover hidden chambers, and unlock treasure chests filled with gold and gems. So yeah, this really is one of those perfect expansions. It's kind of like the dream expansion, that it just adds enough new variety, it adds new mechanisms, it doesn't overcomplicate things, and it just makes everything about an already awesome game that much better. So let's take a detailed look at all of the different things you're going to get. Okay, so the base game came with, I think, 4 different enemy units. We had our level 1, we had our Stalagbites, and those are the monsters that you'll be fighting the most. We also have our creeping Jeepers and our red hook horrors. And then we also had in the base game our goblin soldiers. And if you watch my original video, you will note that one of my main criticisms was that the goblin information card was not included. The information for the goblins was only in the rulebook, but now we do have our information cards for the goblins, and this is great. And so the original game came with our goblin soldiers and a goblin lurker. And the goblin lurker is a goblin that will attack you with different types of poison. In the expansion, we get 1 additional goblin lurker meeple. So there can be 2 of these very deadly goblin lurkers now in the caverns hunting down our dwarves. But we also get a brand new goblin unit, and that is the goblin guard. And the goblin guards are armed with these spears, and they are often putting guarding over different caverns and guarding over different exits and things. So these are very deadly. So our goblin forces has greatly expanded. And we also get a brand new enemy type, and that is the Aetherfish. And those are these blue enemies here. So they come with their own D6 for attacking, and they come with their kind of elite meeple and their regular meeple. And the Aetherfish, they will actually attack the goblins, and they will steal glory from the goblins rather than doing harm, rather than doing damage. But if you don't have enough glory to defend against their attack, then they will attack you physically. Another cool thing about the Aetherfish is that they can move through anything. They can move through walls, they can move through rocks, so you won't be able to really outrun the Aetherfish. You will have to destroy them. They are ethereal, and they move just in any direction, and nothing stops their movement. Additionally, in the expansion, you will get some new entrance and exit tokens that can cause you to go up or down a number of levels. You will get some new rock tokens, so there will be some new things to discover, such as this evil idol, and that's kind of the evil counterpart to the Alberon keystone. That kind of represents the dwarven god. And usually when you find one of those keystones, something good happens, but now you might find one of these evil idols and something bad will happen. You will also get a number of different exit cavern tokens and also rock tokens that you will just mix into your the set that came with the base game. So this just greatly increases the amount of variety of the things that you can find while you are exploring the caves and trying to find that gold and trying to find the treasure. One of the biggest additions to exploration are these chambers. And when you explore a cave, you might discover this chamber icon. And when you discover the chamber icon, you will draw a random chamber. And these random chambers are absolutely jam-packed with exciting things to find and monsters to fight. So you might find some treasure or an elite enemy or a level enemy. You might find a treasure chest or maybe a gem, and that'll be guarded by one of those new goblin guards. You might find a whole bunch of gold, but those will be protected by your stalagmites. You can find exits going up or down in levels. You will find some of your aether fish, maybe some secret passages. So all kinds of new and exciting things to find. I love these caverns. These chambers are really cool, and it's a great little addition to just add that kind of spice and that variety to these kinds of games. Speaking of treasure chests, we also have these treasure tokens, and when you find a treasure chest, you will put one of these on the map. And then as an action, you can pick one of these up, and there's a whole bunch of random things you can find. You can find new kit. We'll go over the kit in just a moment, but that's a whole new deck of cards that you can draw from. You will find different types of relics and powerful gems. You will find gold and all kinds of things. And the mechanism revolving around these treasure chests is really cool because the dwarf will pick that up and then you reveal it at the end of the game. So you never really know what you're going to get. Again, just a little bit more variety to add to this game. The dwarves themselves have also been upgraded. So this is the meeple for the original dwarf, and they were armed with an axe. And this game plays up to 6 players. And so we have our blue dwarf here. And the blue dwarf now has an axe. However, in the expansion now, we also have a spear. And so at the beginning of the game, you can choose if you want to go into the cavern with an axe or a spear. If you go into the cavern with the spear, you will swap out your meeple for the dwarf with the spear there. And then the spear also has its own D6. And as an action, you can swap weapons. And so the axe is better for attacking because the axe has the ability to do 2 damage, but the spear is better for defense because now you can roll up to 3 defense icons on the spear D6. And also the spear can attack with reach, so you can attack a monster or a creature up to 2 spaces away. And so this very simple addition adds some tactical and strategic decisions to make, depending on if you want to go in with the spear, doing a little bit less damage, but having a better opportunity to save against damage, or if you want to go in with your 2-handed axe, swinging away with the possibility of getting that double damage. I really like this. It's a very simple addition, but it adds a lot to the choices that the players get to make during the game. Okay, now let's take a look at all of the new cards. I mean, you get so many new cards in this expansion. I love this. So these large cards here, this is something that I'm really, really excited about. And so you get 2 decks of 6 cards. We have journey cards and we have shop cards. And these just add just a nice little addition to each game. So before you go into a cavern, before you start your game, you will draw randomly one of these 6 shop cards. And these all represent different shops that your dwarves can shop at to kit themselves out. At the beginning of the game, you will start with 6 gold, and you can buy different items from each one of these shops. And then each one of these shops also has a little mini game that you can participate in to maybe lower the price or maybe do some gambling to get some more gold. You know, kind of a pressure luck mini game. You might lose gold, you might gain gold. Sometimes the items might be cheaper, sometimes they might be more expensive. It just adds a whole bunch to that beginning of the game, and I absolutely love this. I also love the art here. So we have the Shambles, the Subterranean Den, Grotli's Used Supplies, the General Store, Sigfrida's Emporium, and Broderick's Barter Hall. And so in a campaign of Stalagbite, you will play through 6 games, and in between each game, you can visit a different store. Now this store has a deck of kit cards, and this is a whole brand new deck of cards that comes with this game. And these are all new, brand new items that add more variety to how you can build out your dwarf. So we might have a flea-ridden bedroll, a down-filled bedroll, a broken kit. Sometimes you find kit and it's broken and then you have to repair it. You can find leather armor or a horn of battle, a fey lantern, chainmail armor, horn of fear, horn of threat, a quartz amulet, a torch, a storm lantern, a whistle. And all of these different items have different gold value. And so you can spend up to your 6 gold that you start the game with, or any gold that you have in between games. You can go to the store and you can buy new items. I think you can hold up to 4 of these at a time. And there's also an opportunity to find this kind of kit while you are exploring. So this huge deck of cards here just adds a ton of variety to the kinds of items, the kind of loot, and the kind of defense and offensive items that you'll be able to add to your dwarf, just to make them more different. And it adds build variety, and it just adds that kind of something that I think was a little bit missing from that original game, and this really does elevate it. Also, before each journey into the cavern, you will have to draw one of 6 different journey cards. And man, I love this. It's kind of like, you know, those travel cards in something like Warhammer Quest, or the travel charts that you might roll up on in Shadows of Brimstone. And so sometimes the journey to the cavern can be as dangerous as the cavern itself. And so each one of these will have something that happens to you on the way to the cavern, such as you might find a wandering wizard, or maybe a secret hideout, a band of goblins, a hungry troll, a thief in the night, or an arduous journey. So it's not a ton, it's only 6, but you never know which one you're going to get from one delve to the next. And this little deck of cards here, or these 2 little decks of cards, just add so much to the game, so much flavor, so much ambience, and they make the world of Stalagbite really come to life. I absolutely love these. You'll also get a couple of new ending cards. And so in the original game, there were 3 different endings, and this would happen at the end of the game. You would trigger some kind of in-game scenario, but now we have 2 more. We have the It Shall Be Their Tomb ending and the Send for the Guards ending. So this, you know, almost doubles the amount of kind of in-game scenarios that you can have from one campaign to the next. And then each of the decks from the base game have also been expanded. So we have our Goblin Lurker deck. When a Goblin Lurker attacks, they attack with poison. And I think in the base game there were 6 different types of poison, or different types of effects that the Goblin Lurker could inflict on the goblins or on the dwarves. And now we have 6. So this deck has doubled in size, with all kinds of new bad things that the Goblin Lurker can do to the dwarves. I like this one here, Froggled. If you get Froggled, you can't jump over pits. That's just awesome. Froggled, I love that word. So this deck has been expanded. We also have a new deck of Lurker antidotes. And these you can get when you kill a Goblin Lurker in order to take the antidote to cure you from the poison that you've been inflicted with. Very cool. And then this is a brand new deck of cards. So when you get one of those treasure chests, you don't know what kind of treasure chest it is. You don't know what's inside it, but you draw one of these cards and something random will happen to you. Maybe it explodes, a poison dart, a gas trap, a sinister chest. It's full of rocks, or it's an empty chest, an unexpected treasure. So all kinds of different random things can happen to you when you find those treasure chests. We've already taken a look at all the kit cards, and I love this deck so much. Just the ability to go shop for these random items and having more things to do on your turn. We also have our deck here of critical hits. So when your dwarf takes a critical hit, you will draw one of these, and something really bad can happen to your dwarf. And let's see, we get 6 new critical hits: deflected blow, sacrifice a kit, a desperate defense. And all of the new expansion things, all of the new cards have this little spear icon on the bottom right there, so you can keep track of those. We have our random encounter cards. So when you draw a token that has one of these question marks on it, you will draw a random event and something good or bad happens. And in the new expansion, we do get a number of these. We get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 new random encounter cards. Lurking Lurker, the Hunting Aetherfish, any old kit, so you can find one of those kit cards, a hidden cache, a treasure chest, an evil influence. So all kinds of new things get added. And this is such a fun random encounter deck. Yeah, it doesn't have any art, but you know, the game is kind of low on art. It uses art wisely. It's not overloaded with art. And I don't mind that these cards are small, and I really do like the variety. Yeah, speaking of variety, we now have a whole bunch of new Cavern cards. So these are cards that you will draw at the beginning of each game, and they will change up the rules a little bit. They will add something. They will add a new mechanism or something new you have to deal with from one cavern to the next, such as Red Hook Caverns or Echoing Caverns, Infested Caverns, Creeping Caverns. And with the expansion, we get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 new ways to augment the game. We have our Aetherfish Caverns, our Caverns of Heroes, Drafty Caverns, Guarded Caverns, Distant Caverns, and Secret Chamber Caverns. So again, the amount of variety that this expansion adds is just kind of off the charts great. We have our relic cards. So these dwarven relics you would get at the beginning of the game, and sometimes you might find a relic while you are playing. You might find your boots of flight, or maybe your spiked boots, a rock cloak, or loose boots. And now with the expansion adds 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 new dwarven relics to find. Man, that is so cool. It almost adds like a third to the deck. We have our new Singing Spear, or the Thorn Spear, an Iridescent Spear, the Shield of Nullification, the Dawn Shield, the Shield of Rage, the Seeking Spear, the Steadfast Shield. So all kinds of new spears and shields that you can add to your boots and to your special axes. Very, very cool. And then finally here we have our deck of Dwarven skills. And so these, you would start the game with one skill. Most of these are one use. You can use one time per game. And then you could level up your dwarf in between games and gain additional skills. So we have things like Counter Strike, or an Old Explorer, a Master of Fate. You could be Brave or have a Double Blow, Jeeper Proof, a Free Blow. And then with the expansion, we get how many more dwarven skills? We get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 new skills. We have Prepared, we have Provoke, we have Circle, we have Lunge, Appraise, and Stoic, and things like that. So a whole bunch of new skills for you to learn. We do have one more deck of cards. I forgot about this one, and this is the Goblin deck. So at the beginning of each turn, you will roll your event die, and if you roll the hourglass symbol, then time ticks down. And in this game, the goblins are hot on the trail of the dwarves, and they are trailing the dwarves through these caverns. As soon as this deck empties, and you start with a certain number of cards in this deck, depending on how many players are playing, then you trigger one of those end games. You will randomly draw one of these 5 end games, and that will trigger the end of the game. And so we do get some new goblin cards here. And so originally we had these that you would draw whenever you rolled one of those hourglass symbols, such as Closing In or Commotion, Wary Goblins, they are listening. And now with the expansion, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 new goblin cards. So this is just a way that each game, the goblins will act differently. You never really know how the goblins are going to act. So we have Changing of the Guard, Bolster Party, Abandoned Post, Posted Guard, Goblin Schemers, and Guards Alerted. And so again, just a whole bunch of variety. I love this expansion. It is so cool because it adds a ton of variety. It adds new things such as those chambers, which are always exciting to draw, always exciting, always deadly. You never know what you're going to find in one of those chambers. We have the ability now to switch between an axe and a spear, giving the dwarves a different kind of tactical approach to the combat if they want to go in swinging and do more damage, or if they want to be more cautious and being able to block more. We have all of those 6 different travel cards. We have those 6 different store cards. We have that huge deck of kit cards that you can buy to help build out your dwarf and give them additional things that they can do from one turn to the next. We have a bunch of new tokens, new things to find while we're exploring the different chambers. We have a new enemy type, those aetherfish, with their ethereal movement and being able to attack the dwarves for glory, and they can move through rocks and walls, and they're kind of always chasing you down. We have new things to find when we're exploring, just all kinds of new stuff. I love this expansion so much. I was so excited to get it, and I was playing the game yesterday, and I remember this game being fun. I remember it was one of my favorite games of 2024, and I just had so much more fun with it, with the new stuff from the deeper caverns. And with this expansion, I really do think this game is a top 10 contender of all time now. It's just so good. It's so much fun. It's very simple. There's kind of the perfect amount of variety. There's the perfect amount of crunch, and it does have that kind of competitive edge to it where the dwarves have to work together, but they are still kind of competing to be the richest dwarf at the end of a campaign. And you can get victory points by helping other dwarves. You don't just get victory points for doing the things that benefit you, but for also benefiting the other dwarves, because you have to work together in order to overcome the kind of relentless forces of these goblins who are constantly hunting you down. I love the new treasure tokens. That adds more variety. It just adds more things to look for, along with that random chance that maybe that treasure chest you find is trapped and it explodes in your face, or maybe it's cursed. There are also cursed items in this deck, and if you are the first player to go into the store and one of the items is cursed, you have to buy that cursed item before you buy anything else. And so, there's, again, even press your luck in the beginning of the game before you even go into the caverns. I love the new meeples. I like that the spear meeple now has its own D6. It just adds a little bit of spice to an already super spicy game. Yes, Stalagbite. This is such a great game, and I highly recommend people picking it up, especially if you're looking. I think it plays pretty well solo, because that's the only way I've played it, and I've had a ton of fun with it. But I think it really shines in that kind of competitive co-op nature of the game, where you have to work together, but you also want to be the greediest dwarf and get the most gold and the most gems. And you have to do that by pressing your luck and delving deeper into the caverns, and always kind of on the edge. Never really know what you're going to find in a game of Stalagbite. And that kind of variety, that kind of randomness, and that kind of simplicity is something that really speaks to me as a gamer. So all right, everyone, I hope you enjoyed this look at the Stalagbite expansion, the Deeper Caverns. We will talk to you later. Bye-bye.